Suraj, I mean, like before we get into the rapid fire, it's just like I'm processing so much that you said. The thing that's still kind of haunting me right now is when you said what is an MBA and you said like it's all the work experiences like combined into condensed, right? I was just like, wow, what a simple like definition for an MBA, right? Like we say Masters of Business Administration, but then like there has to be a definition, and I think people give more complex, definitions, but that was a very well said definition there. I just want to add that in. But coming to our rapid fire questions, we usually try to limit our podcast to 45 to 50 minutes now. How are you spending time during the last few months, or not even few months now? It's more than a few months, but during lockdown, during COVID, like, how are you spending your time?
So rock climbing is my way of clearing my head and keeping healthy, and the climbing gyms have been closed. So I've really doubled down on podcasting, which has been like my other hobby. So Brown People We Know, which you mentioned, I've been interviewing Indian Americans, and I do everything on that from hosting to editing to publishing. The other one is Working for the Weekend, which is a podcast for the business school. I'm executive producer on that one.
That's really cool. What do you occasionally do that keeps you like close to the Telugu culture, especially when we're not home with our families? It could be as simple as watching movies, cooking Indian food, speaking Telugu with family, going to temples, cultural dances, and stuff like that. So what do you occasionally do?
Yeah, so dude, movies 100%. Like చిన్నప్పటి నుంచి like Telugu నేర్చుకోవడానికి కూడా సినిమాలు చూస్తుండే. I just remember I used to watch the subtitles, and then one day I turned the subtitles off on accident or something. I was like, whoa, I can understand this. Like, like that was like a big moment for me. But the interesting thing is, and this might take a whole episode on its own, but when I was younger, I didn't have that many Indian friends. But once I came to Ross, I really bonded with the Telugu community here. And I think like this year, even last year, like I'm one of few Indian Americans in that group, right? Like a lot of them are actually international students from Hyderabad. So they definitely keep me on my toes in terms of like staying connected to the culture. I know when the holidays are because one of them will mention it, and they'll make fun of my Telugu frequently, but it's still someone that I'm able to speak Telugu with, so it feels good.
You said you watch movies and stuff. I mean, who's your favorite Telugu actor?
Dude, it like pains me to say this because I watched Disco Raja, but Ravi Teja is my favorite. I don't know what Disco Raja was. The director on that was like should be fired, but dude, actually last time Chinnapuru like India came up, I think it was like 8 years ago or something. I told my mom like, Mom, when I go to India, I'm gonna meet Ravi Teja. She's like, no, you're not. Be quiet. Like, dude, I went there and like through like my mom's friends person that goes to the same gym as Ravi Teja or something, I ended up meeting Ravi Teja. I also ended up meeting Venkatesh and Ali. Like, it was hilarious. It literally spoke that into existence.
How is that? Sorry, I know we're deviating from the rapid fire, but how is that experience meeting your favorite Telugu actor?
It was insane, dude. Appudu, like, నాకు చిన్నప్పటి నుంచి I never wanted to be in front of the camera. This is very weird. Like for me, I thought directing Telugu movies would be like this amazing thing, right? But I don't know, dude. Like Ravi Teja, we actually went and we met him in his office, and his advice to me was like stay in school, basically, which was like not a concern because no way my parents wouldn't have let me. But it was like really mind blowing. I think you don't believe it's happening, right? Like you're kind of like, wow, this is crazy. But really cool, and he was like very humble, down to earth. Like it wasn't. He was talking to like my whole family. He wasn't just like looking at me or anything. It was a good experience.
That's cool.
Yeah, Venkatesh actually, Bodyguard cinema niga. I went to like the filming of it, so I actually got to meet him on the set. That was really cool because I got to like watch how they do the takes and stuff.
I'm gonna keep in touch with you for both MBA advice, and if I go to India, like I need those contact numbers as well, please. Yeah. What keeps you going every day?
That's a tough question, man. Especially nowadays. So my thing that is the world is really, really big, right? There's so many different people, activities, foods, places, all these different things, and like I just want to be exposed to them, dude. I want to get to know them. I'm like learning Japanese right now. I've kind of put that on hold for a little bit, but like I'm studying Japanese. I told you I went to Beijing a while ago, but really like wherever I can, I like to expose myself to things. I was taking all those different classes, right? The cooking class and the swing dance class and stuff. I think the pandemic has made it a little bit harder to kind of pursue that thing, and I feel like that has kind of drawn out some of my energy. And I don't say that to complain. I think, like, obviously we're in a good position, but I definitely want people to know that if they're feeling a little more lax lately, like, they're not alone.
Is there someone who inspires you?
Yeah, so the people that tend to inspire me the most, like Alex Honnold is a really good example, or Muhammad Ali. It's people that have like their values and they stick to them almost no matter what, right? Like Muhammad Ali threw away a gold medal from the Olympics because of racism, basically, or I think it actually was because of the draft at the time. But he stood up for a lot of issues. Alex Honnold is this rock climber that's very into environmental issues. Dude, like, I don't know if you guys have seen the Free Solo documentary, but it may have been in that, may have been a different video. But I saw, like, even when he's showering, he like keeps his clothes in the shower with him as a way of doing laundry to like save water. Like, it's not like a specific value that stands out to me, but just those people that really stick to their value. It's something that I aspire to, and like aspire with a capital A, right? Like, I think it's very difficult to do, but very inspiring.
Man, thank you so much for answering those questions, and the crucial questions were mainly from the NBA. This is kind of a side thing, but I'm just gonna say it anyways. When Vishal came over, we were playing Truth or Dare, and one of the questions was, I think, if you were to be in someone else's spot or someone you were jealous about, I don't know why I mentioned your name. It's just what the vibes I got from meeting you, learning more about you. You're literally doing everything that one wants to do. Like, you went into the medical industry, you did MBA, you're doing MBA, now you're working a great job. You're at a personal level, you reached out to us, and that meant a lot for me, at least. And from then on, we shared conversations here and there, and the most approachable person. And I still don't know how you had time for this podcast, even though we mentioned like literally 3 days ago. Just everything about you has been, I've been, like Vishal said, we've been digesting, and it's continuing to inspire us. So thanks for your valuable time, and I truly mean it. Yeah.
I really appreciate you guys having me on, but also I appreciate that, first of all, so thank you. It's like very humbling to know that someone looks up to me, because I think sometimes, I don't know, we can be harder on ourselves and stuff, but no, I appreciate those kind words. But also just wanted to say thank you, because I know I reached out to you guys kind of randomly, but it was inspiring to see another pair of podcasters that do Telugu podcast. Nadi ante, like, I do Indian Americans, right? So like, it's cool, but I think when we meet other Telugu Indian Americans, there's definitely like a connection into it, sparks something. So I was very happy that you guys were receptive, and man, I didn't even know if Facebook would like let my message through, because it was like, you know, that whole thing on the back end, I didn't know if it'd end up in spam. But yeah, no, thanks for having me on.
Thanks, man. And I want to share a few words about your podcast. So Suraj has this Brown People We Know podcast. It's the most professionally made solo person. He brings out all brown people. From what I noticed, mostly from Michigan, but he's trying to expand, I can see. But he got some wonderful guests, ranging from, you know, his personal friends to people who ran for office, uncles who've been here for a long time, people who are going through their own medical careers. And I've been up to date, and what makes me go back and listen to his podcast is the humor, the story he tries to pull out from his guests, and the way he it's the whole entirety of the way he lays out the podcast. It's very something to learn from fellow podcasters ourselves. So
thank you. Appreciate it.
You know, I just right now, like, I mean, I had MBA in my head, just keeping that thought. I just want to end the podcast and start studying for the GMAT. Like that's how that's how I'm inspired. It only takes like an hour call to or something, right? Even just a few words to inspire someone. So I feel inspired by you. I will let you know my journey with with studying and like trying to get into MBA. But I appreciate you coming on. It's valuable time, and it's a free podcast, right? Like this is like some free information, and I hope people viewing this, guys, this is a really cool podcast. Please do listen. But yeah, I appreciate it. I appreciate you coming
on. I just
on.
want to open the door for you guys, obviously, like anytime you have questions about the MBA and stuff, feel free to ping me, but also for your listeners, I think like, again, it's a community, right? So I'm happy to help if I can do a resume review or people just have questions. So reach out.
Thank you for that. All right, guys. So thank you for listening to the Telugu Saga. We had a good podcast today with Suraj, and we hope to keep you entertained with next week's podcast. All right. Goodbye, guys.